Hi, chess fans. We have a guest today. This is Steve Martin, and Steve is going to show us his game against Adam Dorrance, who's a chess superstar powerhouse from Canada. And Steve is a um, long time veteran of the Newfoundland Labrador chess scene. So, welcome, Steve.
Hey Chris, how's it going?
Oh, good, good. So you got to play Adam Dorrance. What was that like? Well, how did that feel?
It was cool. So went away to this tournament 2 years ago, and you want to play the best players possible, and definitely in the game he kind of showed his strength, and I didn't really have much of a chance there. A couple of mistakes, and it was all over, as you'll see shortly.
Awesome, awesome. All right, looking forward to it. Let's take it away.
Yeah, so he started with d4, and I wasn't really sure how to go against it. I played c5, which I often do against many players. Maybe I play this, I don't know, say 20% of the time. Uh, but yeah, so it's basically a little bit less known than a main Benoni. So he played d5, which is the common move. I played d6, c4, knight, knight f6, knight c3. This is all kind of the main way to play from both sides. Um, Knight f3, bishop g7, g3. So yeah, maybe more common would be like e4, but I mean this is kind of standard way to develop for both sides. Um, no issues for black yet. I mean, yeah. So I keep going. Bishop. Okay, so castles first. Bishop move is coming next. Bishop g2. Yeah, and bishop g4. So yeah, maybe e6 first may have been a good way to go. But this is fine too. I mean, it's pretty natural development for both sides. So white plays knight d2. So he's going to try to start kind of a initiative with his pawns against my king potentially. Um, and this kind of disallows me from trading my bishop, which I might want to do for his knight. Um, yeah,
Yeah, it's interesting how, sometimes higher rated players, really, really strong players, know these parts of the game when they can break an opening principle move, and moving a piece twice in the opening before everything's developed is normally, not a good idea. It's sort of like a rookie mistake, but when you have someone like Adam Dorrance doing it, uh-oh, there's something behind this one, right?
yeah, and so like taking the knight off of f3, it also allows for f4 if he wants to play that at some point, and just in general, the kind of h3 g4 attacking the bishop and making it look a bit silly. And
Right.
also like e6 is a move that black wants to play, but if I play e6 right now, let's just say e6, and now he can attack my bishop and win it.
Oh,
um,
right.
so like h3, and whatever square the bishop goes to now, if you go to f5, this wins the bishop, and if you go to h5, the bishop is lost too. So that's kind of like what stronger players do. They take away your most natural moves. Your natural moves, they say, oh, you're not going to play that anymore. So
Cool. Very
yeah.
cool.
So I played this move, trying to maybe go for a bishop trade. Um, it's hard to know what to do exactly. Um, Again, like I can't play that e6 move that I really want to play. Because where is black's play coming from? Normally in a Benoni like this, black wants to play rook e8 and try to get an open e file. but it's difficult. So queen c8, I'm trying to just trade off a bishop and then eventually get that e6 move in, you know?
Yeah.
So white castles, I play this. But again, like, you know what I'm doing here, I'm taking so many moves in order to just trade off a piece. And it's not necessarily the best way to be playing, you know? You're moving piece several times just to trade it off.
Yeah.
Not ideal. Okay, so white plays e4. I swap the bishops, and now I play e6. Oh, I didn't play e6. Maybe e6 here would be good too. But improving the knight seems reasonable too, you know. Knight b to d7 is what I actually played. And now f4, and you can kind of see what's happening, you know. White's getting a bit of a initiative in the center. Now I play e6, rook e1, and I play e5, which, you know, I maybe I should keep the diagonal open for my bishop and just swap. Would probably be a better move.
Right.
Because now I'm kind of closing in my bishop, which is not what you should be doing. And he played f5. Right, so yeah, and I didn't think he would do that because I thought like maybe I could just swap and it would be okay. Like, but yeah, like white can still kind of develop his pieces pretty naturally and push those pawns potentially and keep just, you know, g4, g5, and my knight.
Yeah, I was just looking at that. I was wondering, okay, yeah, is his plan just for kingside pawn march now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. At the same time, like g4, g5, you know, my knight could maybe go to h5, but you know, if he were to play, like, if you look at this position, like if he were to play g5 and my knight goes to h5 and he plays f6, you know, like those pawns on g5 and f6, they're not great for my position, you know.
Right. Yeah.
So knight h5 I played myself. I don't know what my thought was here. Like maybe you know, maybe if he plays g4, I can play knight f4. You know, would be good. But he doesn't really allow me to do that. And again, like my knight on d7, it's kind of stuck. You know, if you just look at where's my knight going, you know, like it could go to f6, but then g4 and, well, not g4, but it's just the knights are kind of stepping on each other's toes. You know, he doesn't have to necessarily play g4. So he played knight f3. I took g takes f5. And I was assuming that he would have to take with the pawn, or maybe take knight takes e5 and open a threat on my knight. Like if you look now, white can play knight takes e5.
Oh.
And there's, you know, like if I were to take here, he could take here.
Right.
And it would be a trade, but he had a better move in mind, and that was just to play knight h4. And now he's still opening the threat on my knight, but he's also threatening knight takes f5, which is, you know, really amazing square for the knight.
Oh wow, yeah.
So yeah, I have to kind of allow him to take on f5 because I'm not gonna really give up my knight here. So I played knight d to f6 to protect my knight, but obviously I'm allowing this amazing knight on f5, and really, if you look at the position now, most people would say, oh, black is going to be lost pretty soon because there's not a lot I can do. So I played queen d7, queen f3, king h8. Yeah, it's tough to suggest moves really. Like I was thinking maybe I'll play my rook to g8 and try to, get another piece into the game somehow.
Yeah.
But again, like I don't really have much. Like I don't have much of an attack or anything in this position, right? Like I'm just trying to get rid of his amazing pieces somehow. Like if I
Yeah.
play like maybe in an ideal world, like rook g8, bishop f8, bishop e7, and maybe I'll play like knight g7 to trade off his knight, but I would need like 4 moves to do it. It just tells you how bad black's position is.
Yeah.
So bishop g5, rook g8. Now knight takes g7, and it's hard for me now to take back because if rook takes, let's say if rook takes here, uh, white
Oh,
can just play here, and you're winning a piece.
yeah. Because if knight takes, what happens if what you would knight would if knight takes
Sorry.
back? Yeah, let's just go back there. So if
Yeah,
if bishop if you play knight there, bishop would take.
yeah. Bishop could
Bishop would
take here.
take, and then
Mhm.
knight takes back. Oh yeah, and then queen comes down and
Yeah.
takes that, and then it's got a nasty pin there on that rook. Now, can he take advantage of that, or would you eventually be able to get out of that?
Well, maybe I can get out of it, but I have lost a piece here
Yeah.
already, so it would take time to relieve the pin.
Yeah.
So
Wow. Okay. Wow. Yeah.
yeah, so I actually had to take with my king here again. Like it's not very good.
Oh, right. Right.
so
Yeah.
so and you can see like white already has pressure on f6, and if he were to, let's say, play h3 and g4 to attack the knight, well, maybe not that, but basically you just build up on that knight, and you should probably be able to get something pretty strong here.
Right. Right.
It's good to know too that my knight can't back up right now. So like if my knight on f6 decided to go back to e8, the knight on h5 is hanging. So like let's say, um, yeah, well, and white also has another move. It's white's move right now. It's not black's move. Um, so rook f1 is getting more pressure on f6, and like I said, I can't move the knight. Like I can't play knight e8 because my knight is hanging. Um, I guess I could play knight g4. Um, it's probably a move, but again, it's not really going anywhere.
Mm,
Yeah, so rook f1, king g6, bishop takes. Yeah, so I didn't really have anything. Yeah, so I could have defended with my queen, but I was looking at it and I thought, really, like if I play a move like queen e7 or queen d8, he's just going to play rook f2 and then follow up with rook a to f1. And there's nothing I could really do anyway. So the piece, to me, it looked like the piece was just going to be lost.
yeah.
So I played this weird move, king g6. Um, yeah, I mean, maybe in hindsight, I should have maybe tried queen e7 or something to hold on to the piece, but
Right. Yeah.
I went for this kind of move. Um,
Oh
so
yeah.
if he takes, I'll take his bishop, but I'll still be down a piece here. So it's kind of trying to, I was having thoughts of, okay, well, I'll open the g file and maybe get some sort of attack, but it doesn't really work out. He just takes. I take the bishop, king here, and I actually just resigned in this position because he's up a whole piece, and yeah, I didn't see like, he has sufficient kind of defense on the G file, and yeah, I didn't really see much to play for here.
Yeah.
So
I guess he would probably his idea would be just to trade pieces on the open G file and then win the ending with a knight up. Trade
yeah,
the major pieces.
yeah, something like that. But like again, credit to him for making my position so bad, and he seemed to see all the correct ways forward,
Yeah.
which was pretty impressive to me. So,
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
and he was a really nice guy. Looked at the game with me afterwards and showed me some things. So
Oh, that's
yeah,
yeah.
nothing but good things to say.
That's awesome.
Uh,
And what was the name of the tournament?
it was the Mayflower Open 2022. Yeah,
Mayflower
so
Open. So that was in Nova Scotia.
yeah, and there were a couple of grandmasters playing. Uh, there's a grandmaster Rosentalis, I think from Romania,
Oh wow.
and Amon Hambleton also was a GM at that time. I think he lives in Calgary now. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Maybe Toronto. I
Yeah.
forget.
That's great. Mayflower Open. I'm gonna have to put that on my list for someday. I'll have to check out that tournament. All right.
Yeah, like it's great to get away for those kind of tournaments. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks, Steve, for being my guest today, and we'll end it here. And hope to have you back on the channel again someday.
Yeah, thanks. Been
All right.
great. Thanks.
All right.
Okay.
See ya.
Have a good one. See ya.
Okay. You too.